Hello and welcome to another episode of BuzzFeed Quizzes Pick What I'm Reading. I just want like a good recommendation. Something I've heard of before. I think we might have a hit with this one. It's called Answer Some Date Questions to Get a New Romance Book Recommendation. Having new in there is very heartening for me because hopefully it'll be something that I've heard of, maybe something popular, and maybe it will even be good. It's going to be interesting to answer. Normally I try to do these quizzes twice to get a balanced view. I am a married woman, so I don't know how I'm going to answer these. If I'm going to answer what we do now, what I would like to do, I guess we're just going to have to get into it and see. Okay. Here we go. On a dinner date, what would you order? Okay. Oh, so for me, it's pasta all the time. I am a pasta fiend. My husband doesn't like pasta, but it doesn't matter because this is my meal, so screw him. What is your ideal date from home? Netflix and chill, video chat, takeout, video games. Why would I do video chat? Who am I chatting with? Are they not in my home? Very confusing. Not video chat. Everything else is good. I'm gonna pick video games because we do play some video games together. We played It Takes Two, which was super fun. Highly recommend, even if you're not very good at video games like I am. But this is the closest to having something interactive. Everything else is just sort of like have a thing on and that's what draws your focus. This involves like talking to each other and having like a planned activity. I love plans, basically. Picking video games. It's Netflix and chill night. What steamy show are you watching with your date? I have watched none of these. Although is that? I think that guy is in Grace. Yeah, this guy. He plays someone. He dates Meredith because everyone does. So that's the one I'm gonna pick in conclusion. Choose a fun activity for your next date. Paintball, wine tasting, beach date, Broadway show. It's definitely gonna be Broadway show. We went to Broadway just before the pandemic and it was a great time and I love theater. Picking Broadway show. Time for dessert. What tasty treat are you sharing with your SL? Okay, we have to share. We have a pretty good thing going on though, where I give him some of my meal most of the time and he lets me eat most of the dessert. So that's very nice. But it's gonna be ice cream for these. I just love ice cream and you can never go wrong with it. It's always perfect. Cake, there are too many varieties. You can't just say cake. It's too broad. Ice cream. One last time in case you McQuiston. Okay, something I have read and I liked. So that gives me hope for this. What should I do to retake it? I guess I'll answer as my husband. That sounds smart. Okay, what would he order? Ramen. Big fan of ramen. On that New York trip that we took, we found a ramen place. Won't shut up about it. It's been like 2 years. Won't shut up about it. What is your ideal date from home? I'm gonna say takeout because he loves getting takeout. He loves trying new weird things. So it's like an activity for him. Takeout. Oh, I should have picked video games, but I already picked video games. That's fine. This one, I don't know. I'm gonna pick Virgin River again. This is gonna be the one constant. Paintball, wine tasting, beach day, Broadway show. I mean, he would probably pick Broadway show too. He's pretty easygoing. He'd do pretty much anything. I guess wine tasting is what I'm gonna go with. What are we sharing? What does he like? Souffle is probably what he would pick because cake again is just like cake. Donuts are fine, but they don't really feel like a dessert. Souffle feels like a dessert. And he likes fancy things and trying new things. Souffle. Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. Another book that I have read and enjoyed even more than the previous one. Okay. Third time, I guess I'll just pick my opposite. That I can do. Okay, what would I not order for dinner? I wouldn't get a salad. I would get a salad on the side, but I wouldn't get a salad as a whole meal. What do I not want to do? Video chat. I already talked about that. Okay, what's not Virgin River? I guess Bridgerton, because I heard the not great things about it. So I wouldn't pick that one. Paintball. I hate paintball. I hate it so much. Why? I'm just gonna get injured at the end of it. No, no fun. Why would I not pick? Donuts. I'm not gonna pick donuts because cake is always gonna be good. Donuts, you can really get a bad donut. Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I think this is the author of Happily Ever After Playlist, something like that. This is an author that I know. I have not seen this book though. I didn't know this was a thing, but it is something that I have not read. So thank goodness. I'm gonna retake it just one more time, just because it feels like only having one book in a vlog is weird. So I'm gonna pick things that I have not picked yet. So this one I know, cheeseburger, like it's a 4. So by process of elimination, I will not have done everything. Okay, this one. I guess this one. Beach date is the one I haven't picked, and cake is the one I haven't picked. One more try. Okay, what if I change up this? What did I pick? I think I picked the other one last time. Still last time. Okay, I guess I'm just picking the bottom ones. I know you want me to read One Last Stop, BuzzFeed. I get it. But I've read it already. Give it up. Okay, I'm just going to pick the first one. I'm just going to power through. Just picking the first one. How does this keep happening? Okay, I'm going to pick the second one. I'm going to pick the third one. So this is something different, but it's still People We Met on Vacation, which I've already read. And yes, I did really enjoy. Fourth one. How is picking everything for 1 and picking everything for 4 giving the same book? How? This is a broken quiz. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scroll through the comments, and the first person who posts which book they got that I haven't read, that is the book that I'm going to read. Great. Good plan. No, people. Are you serious? Are you serious? It doesn't say. Wow, I'm just going to have to take this quiz forever.
Much later.
I feel like there just must not be that many options. Or maybe I read too many. Because what do we get? People We Meet on Vacation, Soulmate Equation, One Last Stop. Maybe there are only 4 options? Okay. Well, that makes it easy for me. I anticipate this being a very successful vlog. If I've given all of the other books 4 or 5 stars, I feel pretty good about this one. Definitely not how I thought this video was going to go. I am going to be reading Life's Too Short. I will check in with you once I have acquired said book. Hi, I'm here with a very quick update on Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I got the audiobook for it and listened to literally the first chapter, and I really like it. It's dual perspective, dual narrator, and the first chapter is from the guy, and he sounds hot. He just sounds like a very attractive man, and I feel like I'm gonna have a good time listening to him. The setup is super cute too. They are neighbors, and he is trying to sleep, and she has a baby that's screaming all night, so he goes to her place to help her out so that the baby will shut up so that he can sleep. And I don't know, it's just really charming. I just have a really good feeling about it. I did check on Goodreads, and it looks like this is the 3rd in the author's series. My impression is you don't have to read all of them, so I'm not gonna do that, but I do wonder if I would get more if I had read all of them. I rarely come into romance series in the middle of them, so I'll be able to judge for myself. But yeah, hopeful, very optimistic. I am not an optimistic person, so this is remarkable for me. Hi, 2 things I wanted to say. to embarrass myself. First of all, I rewatched that footage of me picking the book, and like, of course there were only 4 books. I don't know why I was so obsessed with trying to find all of the answers. Obviously there were only 4. I should have given up way before, so sorry about me, you know, freaking out a little bit. Secondly, in the last clip I told you that the narrator sounded hot, so I looked up what else he had done, and 50 Shades. He did the 50 Shades from Christian's perspective. That's all him. So it is not just me. This man has an objectively hot voice, and I will be hearing no dissenting otherwise. It's just, this is the first time I've ever thought that, and they have him cast as like the quintessential hot boy of the last decade. When did 50 Shades come out? No idea, but anyway, I just thought that was really funny. I'm still reading it. I'm 20% of the way through right now, and I really like it. I have no complaints. I think it's incredibly charming. It's got such good humor, and I can tell it's going to be a very cute romance between 2 people who have both sworn off dating. I'm here for it. I am now 50% of the way into Life's Too Short, and I really like it. I'm trying to find a flaw with it, but I really can't. It's just sort of charming and sweet, and the progression of their relationship is really great. They are both like slowly trying to feel the other person out, to be like, if I admitted my feelings, how would you feel about that? And I don't know, it's just really sweet and charming, and there's lots of real life stuff going on, which is interesting. Vanessa has a very complicated family, so there's lots of stuff going on there. And I don't think I mentioned the baby that she's taking care of is her sister's, who has had some addiction problems and is back on it. So Vanessa's taking care of the baby for a while, and they're like co-parenting. One thing I was thinking that's interesting in a dual perspective romance is, when do you switch perspectives? Like, when you're thinking of a scene as an author, do you immediately decide which perspective you're going to write it from, or do you write both and then decide which one's better? I think that's interesting, because there was one scene in particular where the guy Adrian had to clean the baby. He was by himself, and he called his mom to like get tips on how to deal with the baby, and that was written from Vanessa's perspective, where Adrian just told her about it. We didn't actually get to see the phone call between him and his mom, and I thought that was an interesting choice. I don't know if there's a reason for it, other than like, the book's long enough, we don't need a whole other conversation here. I don't know. But for the most part, none of the perspectives felt out of place in that same kind of way. I also enjoy having 2 older protagonists. I don't think they're older, but they're very established in their careers and their life, and like, they're grown-ups, you know? They've sort of got their stuff figured out. Neither of these people are a hot mess. I really enjoy it. I'm excited to finish it. I hope it's good. One thing that I'm interested in how it'll be handled, I don't think it's a spoiler, but Vanessa thinks that she has a terminal illness, and that hasn't been confirmed yet, but I hope it doesn't end up being like a magical fix-it thing. But like, she can't have it, right? You can't have this romance end with one of the leads dying. Like, this cover doesn't indicate that there could be anything other than a happily ever after. I feel like we're heading toward them admitting feelings for each other, and I'm very excited about it. It's been maybe 30 seconds since I turned off the camera, and we just had a proposal of a marriage of convenience. Like, if you and I are both single at 30, that we'll get married. And wow, very exciting. Apparently that is a trope that I love, because I just got very excited. This is quite the angle for an update, but it's the best you're gonna get. I just finished Life's Too Short, and I am physically and emotionally exhausted, so this is the best you're gonna get. If you can't tell, I've been crying. So yeah, it was good. 5 stars. The handling of the health stuff is interesting. I don't think it was done badly, but I don't know if there's a good way to handle it. It's a tough spot for representation, but I didn't have a problem with it. And I think I realized another thing that I really like in romances is groveling. I don't know if that counts as a subgenre or a trope or anything, but it is something that I definitely like because it makes the third act miscommunication worthwhile in some way. Like, mild spoilers, I guess, but it's a romance, you know, it kind of has to follow a certain script. So in the third act, he gives her an ultimatum and she gets to like have her girl boss moment of like, you can't tell me what to do, I'm storming out of here, which was great and like what she should have done. And then he immediately regretted it and had to do a lot of groveling to get back in her good graces, which is also great. We love the character growth. It was just a really satisfying ending. It is kind of amazing to me that that BuzzFeed list had 4 books and I gave them all 4 or 5 stars. That's kind of incredible. I'm pretty happy about that, but maybe I'm just easy to please when it comes to romances. This book also had a lot more family stuff than I see traditionally in a romance. There was a lot of Vanessa's family and a lot of Adrian's family, and I don't know, it just really worked for me. I think it comes back to that these are adults who have their stuff together and, you know, still have complicated relationships with their parents, but are able to work through them and behave like adults still. I don't know. It's just really interesting. In the inclusion of the kid, I even liked. The epilogue seemed to skip over some stuff that I would have liked to see, but overall I think it was so good. I think that's it for this episode. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for compiling new romance recommendations. Hopefully when I do this again, it'll end up being as successful as today. And you know that I'll be an emotional wreck just as much as I am right now. Yeah, the whole like last 2 chapters and then the epilogue, just crying the whole time. Good time for me. I don't know, it feels like if I don't cry in a romance, it means it's not good because I cry so easily. Who knows what that means, but yeah, easy 5 stars. I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you for joining me and I will see you in my next one. Bye.